Hello everybody, I'm Mike from the Rewatch Project podcast and I'm a Trekkie watching Doctor Who for the first time. Thank you for coming back and joining me at the beginning of this, another new serial in the original 1960s. I believe this episode is from 1964, run of classic Doctor Who starring William Hartnell. After a brief sorbet of covering the odyssey that was the Peter Cushing adaptation, weirdly faithful in some areas, weirdly anachronistic in others, Doctor Who and the Daleks from 1965. I am back to the real deal, I guess you could say, and I'm getting onto the next serial with William Hartnell. So thank you for joining me. Again, thank you to all of those people who've been so generous in commenting on the YouTube page. Please continue to do that. I've been getting lots of great information and context about the behind the scenes of the what I've now learned. It was actually an Amicus film, Doctor Who and the Daleks, but now we're going to get back into the series proper. So I know nothing about this episode. I don't know where we're going. I'm ready to go, so let's not mess around. I've got an adult beverage here, and I'm going to have a pleasant evening of watching Doctor Who and reacting to it as I see it for the very first time. So let's see how this episode holds up 60 years later. Working the dials. It's very committed. You buy it. The Ede of Destruction. I'm guessing this is the first of another multi-part storyline. I'm not completely sure. It's nice to have the real Ian and Barbara back after the entertaining but different versions that we saw last time. In the Daleks movie, that was, of course. Barbara's still rocking the Thal legwear from the previous episode.
Ian Chesterton? I thought...
What's going on here?
I know you.
Oh, a bit of a memory lapse.
Oh, have you hurt your head?
Oh, it's terribly.
Well, let me look at it. I got some ointment. We'll get some water, too.
The vulnerability of the fact that Hartnell's character is aged is really interesting. You know, to have this protagonist who's...
go and help him? I don't like the look of this.
Who is so physically vulnerable.
You're working late tonight, Miss Wright?
What? Loving how theatrical, surreal this episode is. It's definitely got a vibe. Getting condom
Heart
now.
Seems all right. And his breathing's quite regular.
It's heart. Is he meant to have two? Is that something that's...
I don't think that cuts as deep as you think.
I love the water and the milk buttons. Very specific. Pot noodle dispenser on there as well. Is the TARDIS protecting them or something? I'm loving that we're spending time with the TARDIS.
How are you?
Almost
head.
Lynchian, like David Lynch.
You cut your thigh,
Feels to
but
this,
you'll be all right.
Well, it hurts here.
Syrupy.
I can't see anything. There's no bump or bruise or anything.
Tone.
I'll hit on the back of the neck.
I like that we're getting to see a bit more of the TARDIS and the tech and the design of it. A bit of sort of minimalist aesthetic. That's the interior design on the TARDIS.
What are you doing?
Oh dear. Family TV in the 60s. I mean,
You don't need that.
I tell you. Surreal, Dali-esque psychodrama. Wow. She's putting it all out there on the stage. Very physically committed performances here. Good to see Hartnell awake and present in the episode
light
again.
in here?
But it's not very logical, is it?
Or another
He's
intelligence?
not being himself, is he?
It won't take us long.
So when they move from set to set or room to room,
Doctor, it might give you an electric
did they
shock.
cut
Yes,
there?
well, perhaps it would be wise.
Or did they just have like
Fabricator first. I'm glad I
camera
thought
crews
of
on
that
either
yesterday.
side and they just continued the live
Barbara?
performance.
Keep an eye on Susan.
Again, really
Yes. Don't
fascinated
tell
with
her
the
about
mechanics of how they
something
shot
being
these
in the
things.
ship.
No, of course not. How are you feeling?
So the dedication
Susan?
of 1960s
You do
British
remember who I am, don't you?
teachers is beyond reproach.
Of course I do.
It's nice to see the actors playing out of type a little bit. You get a sense of their range. The actress who plays Susan, I'm terrible with actors' names, by the way.
I noticed the shadows
Doing some
before.
pretty good stuff here.
So silent in the ship.
But where would it hide?
So this is a
In one of
bottle
us.
show?
No.
Haunted house?
No.
Story?
And it's all perfect.
His cardigan's ripped.
He's gone to turn on the scanner.
No! No, you won't!
What Barbara's doing here.
Don't touch!
The actors are always thinking.
Are you all right, child?
Yes.
And they
Grandfather,
stack them as
I
well
tried to touch it.
in the
and
frame
it was like being
because of
hit, but
how
without any pain.
square it is.
But the back of my neck hurt.
Yes, I remember that.
That's very curious. That can't be what's
Oh, England.
outside the ship. This is a
see.
photograph.
I moved to New Zealand
Who's the dog?
context.
I'll do it!
Probably one of the reasons why I'm getting such a nostalgic thrill watching Doctor Who. It's a connection to my childhood, even though I was never really into the show that much.
Well, I didn't touch it!
There's
another
part of
picture.
the wallpaper. So they were on adventures prior to an unearthly child. Then that's a bit of prehistory here.
Sherard, you attacked us.
Tough dialogue.
Not.
When we were lying helpless on the floor, you tampered with my controls. You tried to force me to return you to England.
Oh, don't be so stupid.
I know it, I'm sure of it.
How dare you? Do you realize, you
love
stupid
that
old
they're
man,
playing
that
off
you'd
the
have died
tensions.
in the cave of Skulls if Ian hadn't made fire for
Oh,
you?
I-
And what about what we went through against
Callbacks
the
as
dark?
well to previous
Not just for
episodes.
us,
This
but for
is
you and
pretty
Susan too.
sophisticated stuff.
And all because you tricked us into going down to the city.
But I...
Accuse us? You ought to go down on your hands and knees and thank
I
us.
love that they're talking.
Gratitude's the
They're
last
bringing
thing
these things
you'll
up. They
ever
haven't just
have, or
forgotten
any
them.
sort of common sense either.
Oh, the sound design. It's crazy. Good crazy. Really great. You can see the actors getting to cut loose.
I wish I could understand you, Doctor. One moment you're abusing us, and the next you're playing the perfect butler.
A little nightcap to help us relax.
It's a complicated man. Wonderful staging.
I must drink.
I mean, I enjoyed Cushing in the film.
Rash
But it's so good to
action is
hark
worse
back
than
to
no
the
action
kind of
at all.
intelligence of his performance. I love the way he calls him Chesterton.
I'm
Melancholy to this
I'm
episode.
sorry for what Grandfather said to you.
It wasn't your fault.
I know, but try and understand him. Forgive him.
Try and get some sleep.
I think this is the flat out best acted episode so far. So you just don't know which way the Doctor's going to go. I mean, he's still, he's the titular character of the show, but I wouldn't be surprised if he descends into villainy and treacherous caddishness. Although, in fairness, they're not quite being themselves this episode, so I'm getting a bit of a mind control vibe going on here. Great electronic score going on here too. Brink of Disaster, what a great pulpy title. Yeah, that was really interesting. So we've had a historical time travel serial. We've had a science fiction adventure story of part alien, part robots, fascists. And now we've got a kind of surreal psychodrama So I think it's great that they're really taking the show out for a test drive and showing us the elasticity of the concept of the show. And I think there's been some great performances. And I mentioned the staging as well, because obviously, televisions were very small, black and white, quite dim, and, the very restricted ratio as well of what you would actually see, that 4:3 television. And the way that they stack actors on top of actors and have people in the foreground, it gives opportunity for the actors, particularly Hartnell, to do that great, thoughtful, open-faced acting. But it's good to see the characters acting a little bit out of character here. And I just take great delight in the fact that they're referencing the previous adventures, and we're seeing the accumulated ravages. I joke about Ian's cardigan being ripped, but we are starting to see the fatigue of just the endless one thing to the next thing to the next thing that we're seeing on the show. And I like the fact that they're crediting the audience and actually saying, hey, that thing that happened has consequence. We may be escaping away in the TARDIS, but at the same time, we are still accumulating the wear and tear, both physical and emotional, the grudges and the consequences and the PTSD, to use a modern term. So yeah, really tantalizing, interesting, surreal, weird, theatrical stuff, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to getting to the next episode. So I'll be back very soon to talk about The Brink of Disaster, and I will look for you out there on the comment section on the YouTube channel. Please check out the Rewatch Project with Hannah and Mike, my audio podcast that also shares the feed here, and I'm looking forward to getting back to Doctor Who with The Brink of Disaster in the coming days. Thank you.